Hey everybody, welcome back to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week. How you guys doing? I am Sal, the Slab Guy, and I will be your host today. As always, with me, my partners in crime are the one, the only, J-Dub, the man with the bandana, the man behind the scenes. And also with me tonight is Dan the Man Kelly of Instagram. And then, of course, we've got Archduke Kevy. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Awesome. And tonight, who are we covering? Tonight? It's my pick.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
The Harley Quinn.
Yep, Harley Quinn. Yes,
the
indeed.
Harley Quinn.
The Harley Quinn. Awesome. So you guys ready to dive in?
Yeah.
We're ready to dive into Harley Quinn.
Well, real fast, Sal, where can they find you when you're not here?
Definitely. Let's get this business out of the way. You can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and on Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. And then where can we find you, Dan?
You can find me screaming into the void in my backyard at night. You can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. I post art, music, and writing there a few times a week, so go give me a follow. I'm working. I just hit 600 and working on my way to 700. So
nice.
I'm enjoying the fun. And then this cat right beside me, who I'd like to welcome back again to the program tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Tell us what you got going on.
I also like to scream into the void, but when I'm not doing that, I created a group over on Facebook and Instagram called Comic Character of the Day, where we post a different character and all sorts of other goodies regarding this geekery that we all love called comic books. And we would love to have you come and check us out and become part of our family. It would be great to have you. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, definitely. Got to check it out. All right. J-Dub, where can we find you? Don't you give us the deets on that?
You can find me everywhere on Codex. Every part, every piece, everything that is done is me, realistically. But if you guys want to find out the whole team and what the schedule is and what we're doing, go check out the codexstation.com. Your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team, let us know what you like, don't like. Bios are on the way. We're still working on one or two people that still need to get them done. And links
to the best up.
Right. we need Kilgore.
Yes.
And links are all down at the bottom for all of our socials, so you have no reason to miss out on any of the content we're providing for you, which is so much. We're making our way to that 1,000 mark on YouTube. So anyone that can subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, share, comment. Everything helps out the little podcast that could. We love you all for it that have done it so far. So thank you so much. And lastly, before we jump in, we do have a Patreon.
Right.
And Sal, tell them what they can do for that.
Oh my gosh! There's two levels. For the prices of a cheap cup of coffee or expensive cup of coffee, you can get behind-the-scenes details of all what goes on at Codex. You meet the team. Shout out from your favorite host, possibly me, and possibly Dan, possibly Kevy. And actually, you could actually do talk with them and chat with us and get shout-outs on the shows.
Yeah, the Slab Daddy Master himself.
That's right.
Codex Station Gone Wild.
That's right.
Wizard.
And we lost everything on Patreon. That was great. I didn't know that could happen.
Jamie, I was going to ask you, what are we up to on YouTube?
Comic book.
Yeah.
What am I up to on YouTube?
Yeah, what's our number on YouTube?
Our number right now is 872. And at that 1,000 mark, we will be doing a little bit of a giveaway raffle. So if you guys, when we hit that 900 mark, we're going to actually break it down and let you guys know what we're going to do so we can hit that 1,000, go from there.
You get to pick one of the books off of Sal's slab wall.
Yeah, I already can see
no comment from Dan right now.
Oh, we're losing you, Dan. But yeah, that Secret Wars looks like it needs a new home.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'll if I do that, you'll come back to the wall, be cleared out. There'll be nothing on there. Please,
you have
a slab.
like you at Uncle Gary's house.
Yeah.
You have Venom. You have Amazing Spider-Man number 300, right?
Yes, of course I do.
Claimed.
We
just like Sal and Heroscornercomics.
We do not claim anything off of Sal's wall. Thank you very much.
I'll take 7 5-packs and the foil.
at the foil and slab that for me.
All right. But
All
let's
right,
get
guys.
into this.
Let's do this.
All
So we're going over Harley Quinn. So Dan, why don't you give us
Yes.
the information on her?
All right. Well, Harley Quinn first appearance is a little bit different than most characters because she first appeared outside of comics. She first appeared on Batman the Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 22, from September 1992, created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. Her first comic appearance was a year later, September 1993, in Batman Adventures number 12, and her first in-continuity appearance for DC Comics, the regular universe, was a few years later in August 1999 in Batman Harley Quinn number 1. Her
Nice.
Her origin is she was a psychiatrist named Harleen Quinzel that was a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum. After meeting the Joker, she became obsessed with him. She began an abusive relationship with him and became his partner, his sidekick. She took on the name Harley Quinn. She eventually broke free from him and kind of went off on her own and has kind of been oscillating between villain and hero since. She doesn't have any superpowers. She's she's an expert gymnast, trained psychologist, and then thanks to some stuff that Poison Ivy did to her, she has immunity to toxins and slightly enhanced strength, agility, durability, reflexes, and for some reason the ability to breathe underwater.
That's not random.
I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know that, Dan. Thank you.
I did not know that either till I was researching it. I was like, breathe underwater.
Breathe underwater.
Yeah. That happened in, I think it was like the Rebirth Suicide Squad. She was like underwater and Killer Croc's like, what are you doing? And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're talking to me right now. She's like, oh yeah, I am.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's really funny.
All right, so before we get into the nitty gritty, let's take a moment to shout out for our sponsor, Jamie.
Yeah, yes, and you can check out our sponsor, Dubby Energy, over at dubby.gg.
Dubby.
Guys, when I say this is one of the best energy drinks I've ever had, I am not going to lie to you. This is one of the best energy drinks, and the whole team can vouch for that. If you guys go to dubby.gg right now, too, you can save yourself 10% on any order using the keyword codex, that's CODE-X. So go save that 10%. They got some new flavors coming out. They got the sample packs. You guys can try it out before, and you get the cool shaker with it, too. But Sal, tell them why they want to try this so bad.
Well, this is a good, clean energy drink, like you said. But you know what? It's really good about it. It's got no bad aftertaste. There's no jitters, and there's no crash. So it's a great drink, and you got to check it out. Make sure you use that keyword and save 10% at checkout.
It's good.
Everybody raves about it. I've not heard of.
I love it. I used to hate energy drinks, but I love that one.
I'm just going to throw this out there to Dubby. You're thinking about another flavor? Cherry limeade. Make it happen.
Ooh, yeah, make
Put
it happen.
Make it happen.
That would really work.
Right now they got Calio cream, and I'm still waiting because it's on back order.
Back order.
So get into me now.
Back order sucks. All right, so guys, for this character, as always, we do what works best, what we don't like, top covers, top stories. But we're going to kick it off with, what works best for this character. And Kevin, why don't you kick us off for this one?
So what I have is, I think she works best when she's kind of represented as a role model for anybody that's ever been through domestic abuse situation. They introduced her as Joker's girlfriend and sidekick, and they portrayed their dynamic very toxic, very obviously the Joker is the embodiment of narcissism, and her story arc is basically is about how she found her own personage away from that and realized that she was better than what she was getting and that she deserved better, and that she got away from somebody in an abusive that was abusive to her, And I think a lot of people, not just women, but I think a lot of guys as well, might not manifest the same way, but but I think a lot of people can see themselves through the lens of her story. And I think that it works best when they portray her as a strong, smart, independent woman who's no longer willing to be victimized or abused. I love it. I love that aspect of the character. It's
That's
just
awesome.
great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's great. All right, Jamie, why don't you tell us what works best for you?
I think she honestly just works best as herself, a solo character. I feel she has the strengths, obviously, to run her own solo series. She could fit in basically anywhere, but they've tried in the past to put her with like her own Harley Corp type thing, and it just didn't work. She's consistently trying to be a member of the Bat family, and it to me just doesn't seem to fit her when she's on her own doing her own thing. It's perfect. Like she teeters that line of I can do good, but I can also pick some stuff up along the way.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true.
Good.
All right, Dan, why don't you tell us what you got?
I do like what Kevin said about, how, she broke away from Joker. And I like that it wasn't, they introduced her and they said, this is what it is. And like 3 months later, she's broken away. Like it was years and years of her being with him and slowly realizing it was a bad relationship and finally breaking away, but still having the kind of urges to go back. And like, that's very representative of what it's like for people like that in real life. It doesn't just happen. It takes a long time, and then they still kind of will fall back into it. So it's nice that they did that. Though they do have the character, she is seemingly very codependent. Like she's not with the Joker, but now she's with Poison Ivy, or like Jamie said, she had her little Harley Corps for a while. Like she's always trying to be teaming up with someone in the Bat family or be someone's sidekick. Like she does seem to have an inability to just kind of be on her own. But the stuff go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of the things that I think is so interesting about the character too is, as a trained psychiatrist, she has to recognize these patterns and know of the psychological makeup of what makes all of this work, which I think adds another level to it.
Just to piggyback off that, she has said it in the past. Like she goes, I know exactly what's wrong with me. She goes, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That's great.
But like the stuff I like most about her is, as far as characters go, like she is completely unpredictable.
Yes.
You never know, like really at any point, like she could pop up at any point in any story and it'd be like, okay, Harley's here now. And that's just the nature of the character. And like, you never really know what she's going to do next. And I like that she is just supremely overconfident in every situation. Like, I mean, a lot of times they play it to a comical effect where it's just like comically overconfident. Like, oh, Godzilla's coming at me and I have a hammer. Well, let's go take him down. Like, it just exudes that overconfidence and like gets the other people that are with her to kind of buy into it too.
Right.
So I always find it to be entertaining. Well, what about you, Sal? What do you like about her?
God, you guys hit every point that I have listed on my spreadsheet. I like it when she uses her doctor skills. Like she could be like going crazy, insane, wailing on somebody with her hammer or bat, and then turn around and be like, why are you doing this? This is because you got abused when you were younger. And just go right into that clinical assertion of the person and like talk to them like a real doctor. But I like it when she utilizes her skills, because she's done that in stories, and I think I have one for my story, which I'll dive into a little bit either. But the overconfidence is one, because she has the attitude to stand up to anybody, anytime, anywhere. She's done it to Batman. She's done it to Superman. She's done it to Power Girl. It doesn't matter. She sets her convictions and she doesn't stray from them. And I like her when she works best either solo or with one other character. And right now it's Ivy. And I think the combination of her with one other character works great. I do not like her Sorry, but I'll dive that into more later when she's in a bigger group. But I could dive into that more later. And the last point I have is when she's chaotic good. Like Dan said, she shows up out of nowhere, and she could be good, she could be bad. It doesn't really matter. But she's chaotic, and it adds a wrinkle to the story that you just don't realize what's going to happen because you just don't know. It's a flip of the coin. It really is. So that's why I like best with this character. So now let's move on to our next segment of badass moments. Every character has them. Jamie, why don't you kick us off with your badass moments?
All right. So for number one, I gotta go with her fight against Punchline in the Joker Wars. I thought that was probably the best illustrated thing I've seen Jimenez do, bringing her to life, and for those spoilers, getting her throat cut by Punchline and still whipping the crap out of her, and looking at Batman, and Batman's like, I can do this, I got her, and she's like, nah, I got her. And like, just
she saved Batman, right?
Yeah, because Batman wouldn't let her, and she has a slice across her throat, and he's like, at the end, he's like, just don't blow her up or anything. Like, and then later on, they're standing outside the building blows up. He's like, was Punchline in there? And she's like, maybe, and it walks away.
That's the attitude I'm talking about.
Yeah. My second one is in the New 52, her finally breaking away from the Joker. She basically beats the bricks off of him the entire issue. Like, they gave the whole issue from page 1 to the last one of her just kicking the crap out of him, and at the end choosing not to kill him when she had the chance to.
Yeah.
Which book was that in?
That was her solo series of New 52.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my last one would be the times that she actually did rescue Batman. And this leads into another Joker War part, but this is also so many other times that she's carried Batman out, and Batman never knew. And she's like, I'm going to be part of the Bat family one day. Like, he's going to realize that it was me that saved him and not the Robins. And there have been so many instances of her literally just saving Batman for no reason, and Batman still doesn't know, even with his great detective skills.
Very good. Very good.
What you got?
Cool. Dan? Did you say Dan?
I didn't hear you. Yeah, well, you got my Joker War one. So I had a few other ones on here. I'll go with Harley's Little Black Book, issue 2. So Sal knows. So she ends up trying to bid on a Green Lantern ring. She gets outbid on that, but she's like, oh, well, there's this other thing where it's a red lantern ring and a black lantern ring that combine. And she's like, oh, and she gets it like, oh, they're my colors. So she puts that on, kind of goes, crazier than she already is. And when she's fighting with Hal Jordan, they have this arm wrestling match with the rings, and she actually beats Jordan.
Wow.
He's been Green Lantern for decades. She's been wearing the ring all of 5 minutes and is like, no, I'm gonna beat you. I'll say in the Gods Among Us annual number 1, Lobo is after her. He's been hired to go after. Jamie knows this one. Yeah. So Lobo's got this little green pill, and after he captures her, she's like, "What's that?" And he tells her like, "Oh, it makes you like stronger, better than you were." Blah blah. So she steals it, takes it, beats Lobo, and then afterwards, she captures him, and then she uses her psychoanalytic skills to convince him to leave her alone and go after someone bigger and more worth going after. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right." And then he goes to the dark side.
Because that's a dark side.
Yeah. And then since Jamie took my Joker War one, I'll say another thing from Injustice, Gods Among Us. It's just really funny that she keeps mocking Green Arrow for
the entire time.
Yeah, for having the Arrow Cave. And she goes, and he's like, she's like, Bat Cave makes sense because bats are there. The Arrow Cave, they don't go in a cave. You should call it the Quiver. And he just goes, You're like, right, that's bad. And then, like, every time she mentions it throughout the series, someone else goes, "Yeah, that is a better name," and it just infuriates them.
Yeah,
So that's
Yep.
what I got. What about you, Kevy? What do you got?
All right, so for my number 3, so it was from Harley's Little Black Book number 5, and Superman was depowered at the time, but Harley Quinn beats the living crap out of Superman and wins in a fight. I don't care that he is depowered. The fact that Harley beat Superman in any scenario is just has to be a high level badass moment for me. Number 2 is, sorry, my phone just did something wacky. They show Harley as a highly disturbed person, and her psychosis comes out in the form of her inner Joker, which ends up overriding and basically taking over the entity called the Harvester of Souls. And from Harley Quinn Power Girl number 5. And the imagery in that was just really, really dark and creepy. And the fact that her insanity is so powerful that it takes over a cosmic level entity. I mean, that's just sick. And my number 1 choice is actually not from a comic. It's from the Harley Quinn animated series on HBO, where through the help of Dr. Psycho and the rest of her gang, they are forced into a situation where they enter her own mind, Harley's mind, and they're going through her memories and her past, and they flash back to the scene where the Joker is holding her over like the vat of chemicals on that catwalk, and she's like, you know what? Screw you! You're not the author of my story. I am. And the Joker was like, wait, that's not how this happened. What are you doing? He's like, no, screw you. I'm the author of my own story, and it's just like such a powerful, heartfelt moment where it's like, I'm taking my power back. I've given it to you for far too long. I need to take control of my own destiny. And that was just like that. That was just beautiful. Oh,
nice.
What a great moment.
Very good. Very good. All right. So you guys hit a lot of my points already, and I got one that's different. So I'll start off with the ones that are same, so I can just skip over them really quick. First one is the quiver. The quiver line alone. Just to see Green Arrow's face was just like, he's like, you're right. You know, that scene alone was hilarious and very, very cool. Badass moment. The second one was bidding on the GL ring and then beating Jordan in the arm wrestling match. That was classic for me. That was really a badass moment. Yeah. A fight with Punchline and Joker Wars, also great. But the last one that I have that I think you guys did not have was talking Ivy out of killing the world. So Ivy's like pretty much on the brink of like eliminating all human life, and she like talks her out of it, but not like as a friend, but not really as a friend, but like as a doctor, analyzing her and saying, you can't do this because of these reasons and blah, blah, blah. And she talked her down and had her stop. But she was like that close to taking over the world, you know, had Harley not, intervened. So those are my badass moments.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. So for every badass moment and every good thing we also got criticisms and why they just suck. So I'll kick this one off. And so you guys know I'm not a fan of breaking the fourth wall a lot. I don't mind it every once in a while. Deadpool overdoes it for me. Yeah. But Harley Quinn seems to have that little line. I think She-Hulk is a little bit closer to it, than but Harley Quinn has that line, and she kind of goes into it, but then she pulls herself back. So as long as the fourth wall break is not consistent and overdone, I like it, and it works. But if it's overdone, and which can happen, I hate it. Doesn't like it.
That's fair.
And I also feel that sometimes writers can't give her a good direction. Is she chaotic? Is she good? Is she evil? Is she going to do this? And sometimes that works, but I feel like you're just all over the place. The next volume comes out, and you don't know what you're getting, and you're like, okay, what card is she going to be today? You know, that type of thing. And that can work, but it also gets kind of like, oh, what the hell's going to happen next? You know, that type of thing.
That's
And
fair.
I also don't like it when she was written like as the bimbo side chick, you know, as the sidekick. You know, I didn't like that with Joker, and I didn't, for obvious reasons, I didn't like the abusive relationship to begin with. I was like, what the hell is she still sticking around for when this happens? Because she's the fall girl for Joker every single time, you know, and it just never got through to her. And I was like, how much more of this could she actually take before it dawns on her? And you know, it did last a while, and the story was eventually good. So even though I don't like it, it was still good. So that's what I have. How about you, Dan? What do you got for things you didn't like?
We've talked about it with some of the other characters in the past, and we've talked about it like, you know, between shows about how there's this, you know, this idea that writers just have to take every great villain and like, let's make him a hero, or a lot of villains, let's make him a hero. I don't think she needs to be a hero. I don't think she needs to be Batman's sidekick. She doesn't necessarily have to be a villain. You know, I think she works best when she is just kind of like what you said, like an agent of chaos. You never really know what she's going to do. But, you know, it seems like recently they've really had her striving to be a hero. And I don't like that direction for her as much. You know, to me, it's more interesting when like, oh yeah, I'm gonna team up with Batman, and I'm gonna like, you know, like Jamie was saying with Joker, where I'm gonna team up with him and help him, but yeah, I'm also gonna blow up this other girl that I don't like because, you know, just because.
Right.
So that's kind of my criticism of her, is trying to make her too much of a hero. So, what about you, Jamie? What do you?
I gotta agree with one part that Sal said, is the breaking the fourth wall. I think that's a major key for me in that regards, because it doesn't work with her. I can get it if it's like a one-off like thing every little while, but at one point it was almost like a Deadpool-esque. It was overdone, overused, and it just, if I want Deadpool, I'll read Deadpool. You know. But I fell off Deadpool because of the fact that it was just a constant fourth break every page. So, but my other thing is the constant reinvention of this character. I can't stand it. I can't do it. It's a consistent wardrobe change. It's a consistent, I'm dyeing my hair this color this week. And it literally is a different person every other story arc. Like, you're not getting the same Harley Quinn every single time. You're getting Harley that wants to be part of the Bat family. You're getting Harley that wants to be, you know, go back to being, you know, in crime, and she doesn't even know it. Then you got the Harley that's going out with Poison Ivy. Then you got the Harley that's part of the Suicide Squad. Then you got Harley that's being brought. There's so many variations and reinventions of her. You need to pick a line and you need to go forward with it. And then after whatever 75 issues you do with her, or 30 or 50. Then maybe reinvent her if you want to, but it's just a constant shift every other story arc.
The lack of continuity.
I agree.
Well, that kind of goes along with like, if you're going to have her in Suicide Squad, you can't have her in her own series doing other stuff. Like,
as a different dressed up, like her outfit's completely different, her attitude's completely different,
haircut, whatever, and Elsa.
Everything's completely different than what you're seeing on another page, and it's like, why am I reading two different people?
But like, that's the nature of Suicide Squad. Like, they're locked up in prison and go out on these missions. It's not like another team book where it's like, oh yeah, he's in the Justice League this issue, but in his own book he's doing this. Like, she can't be doing anything else if she's on the Suicide Squad.
True.
Kev?
Wolverine. Kevin? I mean, he's doing like 150 things at once.
But that's Wolverine. We won't talk about that.
We already talked about it. Go check out the Wolverine episode.
There you go. Perfect. All right, so I gotta say, I think my complaint about Harley Quinn is I hate it when they don't write her intelligently. Yes, they have the whole Agent of Chaos thing. I get it. She's chaotic by nature, but she's still smart enough to not be written, as one has said, like a bimbo. We already have the Joker playing the role of the dog that's chasing a car, he wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught it. I think Harley Quinn is smarter than that, and I don't necessarily need her to have continuity plans for her continuity plans, but I think she's smart enough so that she would benefit more from being written more intelligently than they do based upon how they created the character and what they've already established about her and with her. Just stop dumbing her down to be more palatable for us guys to Google or goggle at or whatever.
Very true. Very true. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, guys. Now, next segment up, top covers. These are like 3 covers that you love the best, and I'm gonna pick Kevin. Why don't you kick us off on your top 3 covers?
All right. Let us go in and check out these great things. Harley's little black book, Superman number 47. It's Giganta. I just think that's perfect. It's so great. And then you go to Batman Adventures number 12, the first introduction of Harley Quinn in a comic from the animated series. And I got to go with Batman Harley Quinn. That cover is just so iconic at this juncture that it's the penultimate Harley Quinn with the original old school costume and Joker looking menacingly, and just it really kind of gives you a great feel into the inner dynamic of their relationship. Love all of them.
I agree. Hey, can I just point out one thing?
Yes.
On your Batman number 12, if you notice, Harley Quinn is actually holding a real gun. A lot of other issues afterwards, she never really holds a real gun. Not in this manner.
That is true.
So
switch it up with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, Jamie, why don't you show us your top covers?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have Harley Quinn from number 52. I just think this is essential Quinn. Like, you got the mallet, blowing a bubble gum, just covered in blood, ready to go. I got the 30th anniversary Harley Quinn number 1 with the Joker almost using Harley Quinn as like a marionette.
That's really
showing
good.
that he controls her in every aspect, kind of like we were talking about earlier, where he had that control in that relationship, and she would just follow the strings he pulled.
Yes.
And the last one is Harley Quinn number 2 from the current series. This is the B variant, and I think it's cool because you see what Harley Quinn is right now, and then in the reflection you see the original.
Yeah, that is really.
It looks like an Art Germ cover. Is that an Art Germ cover or a Chew? I think it's Chew.
It's Chew. But you also have the Cesar Romero clown mask laying in the puddle as well, and I just think that's amazing.
Mustache. Is that Batman on the side, or is that just a henchman on the ground next to her?
Those are just henchmen.
This henchman there. That's cool though.
She did a superhero landing.
I love the Joker Harley Quinn marionette cover of that.
Yeah, I own all these, so I love them.
Great.
Yeah. All right, Dan, why don't you show us yours?
All right, so starting on the end, I got the cover to Harley Quinn. I got Harley Quinn number 1. There was the first issue of her own ongoing series in the classic red and black outfit. Just a great cover. Looks like a lot of fun. The middle one, it's Harley Quinn number 30. I just like the way that they incorporate her name into the image of her. I thought that was pretty cool, and especially where it's the black background, so the image just kind of pops out of it. And then Harley Quinn number 1 on the end. It was a variant. I forget which, what a variant, but I just like that it's her and Poison Ivy together, which I think they work really well together, and I hope that DC doesn't screw with them the way that DC and Marvel like to screw with long-term couples.
Mm.
So yeah, I like that it's got the two of them together on there.
Nice.
I do love the middle Harley Quinn integrated into her body like a tattoo. That is very cool.
Yeah, she's
And
got
look,
that
the
kinda,
Suicide Squad is premiering.
yeah, and she's got that kind of that look on her face, that kind of mischievous look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's awesome.
Well,
All right, let's go with mine. All right, so first one up is that's Derek Chu, the Harley Quinn Volume 4, number 9. This is the B variant. I just love that look, the hair flying in the air, the baseball bat over the shoulder, just awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So
yeah,
the next
Chu
one I
did
got
a
the
lot of
Harley
work
Quinn.
for those.
What's that?
I said Chu did like the first. But he
No,
did like
go
the
ahead.
first like 15 or 20 covers for it, and it's all similar, but they're all amazing.
They are. Oh, do you see the little the bat doll there too? Nice touch there. All right, so the next one is the Harley Quinn #1 annual, and this was the special Rub and Smell Spectacular. Now, it actually was a scratch and sniff cover.
That's amazing.
The cover I got just didn't smell like anything, so whatever. But I did like the fact she has the grenade in the slingshot, and she's about to launch it at you. That was pretty funny. I do like this cover. So my last one is Harley Quinn Power Girl #2, and this was a fun series to read. But the fact that she's hiding behind Power Girl like that with all the guns about to fire off, and of course Power Girl's just unfazed by it, but it made me laugh, and it's like almost like a classic Harley, freaking out with all the guns pointed at her. So I like this cover for that.
Your middle one there, Harley Quinn #1. That is hilarious in its logistically problematic nature.
Yes,
that's not going to work quite. Okay, you know what? Whatever. You do you.
Yeah, good enough. Thank you. All right. So, as always, guys, with top covers, there's a place we can go to find top covers.
Ooh.
And Jamie, why don't you tell us where that place is?
Yeah, you guys can go over to heroscornercomics.com and check out all their other socials there on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else. They give so much of a variety. They got back issues. They've got modern. They've got slabs. They've got everything you can think of. They got a codex bundle, 3 Hero Corner Comics exclusives, and you guys can use the keyword codex. It's CODEX, no hyphen in it, and save yourself 20%. And it does work on that bundle as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I have my monthly pulls with them. They're great people to deal with.
Yeah, great packaging. Great everything all around.
If you ever check out my channel, look at the M packaging. I go into great detail of how they pack their stuff up. It's incredible.
And you just got that Venom slab, which is the wraparound cover. So of course, like I told you the other day, you're going to have to buy a second copy of that book slab so you can display them side by side to have the full cover effect.
Yeah, and it didn't happen until Jamie said something.
Shut up, Jamie.
We're literally in the middle of a conversation, and I don't care if this is a side tangent or not. And I was like, "Hey, did you see the wraparound cover?" And he goes, "No, I didn't." And I was like, "Yeah, they're doing it." And I look, and he literally claimed it in the middle of doing an episode. I was like, "This was 35 minutes. We were doing an episode." This man, I swear.
It's called multitasking. Get used to it.
That's our Sal.
Well, it was awesome. So
I think he said claim like 264 copies of it.
Yeah,
that's right. 264 copies. All right, come on, be reasonable. It was one. That's it. That's
374. Okay.
All right, so let's get on to our next segment, which is best author and artist, and these are
essential readings.
No, is it essential readings? Did I just skip it?
We did skip it. Essential readings.
My bad. Let's back it up. Let's just back it up a little bit.
We can edit that part out, right?
Nah, that's forget it.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. So our next segment is essential readings, and these are readings that we all feel that if you're going to break into the Harley Quinn character, or if one's you like it, but you haven't heard much on her, these are the stories that we recommend, that we like. And Dan, why don't you kick us off with your stories?
All right. So first off, I will go with Batman Adventures Mad Love.
Yes.
It was a book focusing on the relationship with Harley and Joker, and how Joker just kind of doesn't take her seriously. And she decides, well, I'm going to capture Batman and I'm going to beat him, and she ends up doing better than the Joker could. And the only thing that stops her is, Batman convincing her to call Joker, who then shows up and stops her. And, and it shows,
out on her.
it shows the abusive relationship. And it shows that she's completely competent on her own. And you think that, she's like, I'm going to leave him. This is BS. I'm better than this. And then something happens and she's like, oh, Mr. J. And it was, that's kind of how the character was for a long time, that she'd go to leave him. And, kind of going back to what Kevin said, about her. And this was one of the things that started off, but it also showed how she could function on her own. Second, I've got Harley's Little Black Book. It was a 6-issue miniseries where each issue she is trying to become the sidekick for a different character. Some of us referenced it. There was an issue with Green Lantern, an issue with Superman in our badass moments. The first issue was with Wonder Woman. It's more of a comedic take, one of the more comedic takes on the character, but it was just a really fun book. And then the last one I've got is Harleen issues. It was a 3-issue Black Series book, and it's definitely a much more serious tone, and it follows her really before she's Harley Quinn, when she is going to school, then when she starts working at Arkham Asylum, and when she is treating the Joker. And it shows, instead of just in a couple pages, it goes through these three issues that are each like 60 pages long, this slow descent in how she goes from being a psychologist to being the sidekick of the Joker. And it was, it was just a really good character study. And then just to throw it in, even though it's not a book, Kevin mentioned the HBO series. I'd say definitely watch the HBO Harley Quinn series.
Highly recommend it.
It's so funny. It's fantastic.
It is. It's great.
So that's what I got. What about you, Sal? What do you got for your books?
All right. So for me, I've got Harley Quinn Volume 1, Hot in the City. This is like her first breaking in with the New 52. This was a good storyline. It was well written, and I think it's just one of the quintessential Harley Quinn stories. Next one I got is actually not in a Harley Quinn book, but it's actually in Batman Volume 3, issues 41 to 43. And the storyline is Everyone Loves Ivy. And I believe this is the one where she talks her out of destroying the world. You just, being a doctor to her and psychoanalyzing her, and talks her down and out of that almost destroying the world. And my last one I got is Gotham City Sirens. This is where she teams up with Ivy and Catwoman, and they're out in the town, but they're being accused of killing people and not, and they're trying to get to the bottom of the mystery before they actually get caught. So that's one of the best stories for me.
Great.
How about you, Kevin? What do you got?
Well, leave it to both Dan and I to share pretty much one brain at this point.
There you go.
Mad Love, and I think Mad Love and Harleen are great together, in as far as like Mad Love tells the story from the original kind of concept of Harley Quinn, cartoon character, and it touches upon a great dynamic, but it doesn't take itself that seriously, even though the subject matter is. Whereas if you read that and then you read Harleen, it is a lot darker, and one follows the other wonderfully. So those two together, I'd say read Mad Love and then follow it up with Harleen. They're both great. And I got Batman, Harley Quinn, which was a great story which was focusing upon the initial start of Harley Quinn's relationship with Poison Ivy, which is at this juncture an integral part of what that character is all about and who she is and what makes her the person that she is today. And that is a great jumping on point to kind of best understand where she started and how she ended up with her being how she is and as we know her today.
Yeah, nice, good stories. All right, Jamie, what do you have for us?
All right. So first, it's another Black Label book. It's Criminal Sanity. This is
I forgot about that one.
More in-depth look, Elseworld story of her actually using her psychology degree and trying to figure out these murders that are happening while leaving and becoming almost like a police detective. It's great. I don't want to go too much in depth because it kind of gives the story away. But there's someone going around basically chopping off limbs and body parts or leaving ways of old can't think of the word, serial killers. There we go.
My bad.
Yeah, doing things like serial killers do, and there's a tendency behind it, and leaving little marks behind it. And her figuring out was just amazing. Next up, I got Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. This was a 6-issue miniseries.
Yeah,
this was a fun read all around. Them going on basically a road trip, trying to clear their name in a sense, while going up against I believe it was the Fluorescent Man.
Yes.
And every issue left you wanting to read the next because you want to know what happened. And lastly, I talked about it earlier, Joker War. I think she was a pivotal member and player in the Joker War, and I think she stood out above the rest in that series. Seeing as though Punchline was the Joker's right-handed, she was pulling the strings as Joker was pulling hers, and Harley being like, she got a new sidekick, I'm going to beat her up.
Yeah.
Not to mention, as great as Harley was in the Joker War, even without that into consideration, the Joker War is just a great read, great story.
Right. No, agreed.
Definitely good stories there.
Yeah.
All right, so now we can move on to the best artist and best writer for what we feel for Harley Quinn. Now,
wait, we got another segment though.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Kill it.
Poor Sal. We love you, brother.
I know. It's all good. So this is the best author and artist who we feel represents the character best. Maybe not, it may be like an obscure artist and author, but it doesn't matter. When we think of Harley Quinn, these are the people we think of. So, Jamie, why don't you kick us off with what you got?
Yeah, for writer, I got to go with Sam Humphries. I really enjoyed the run that Humphries did on that. I felt like it was even though it was Harley trying to like find herself after leaving Joker, it was more her, even though she had like that almost like Harley Corp with her, there was only a little part of that, and then there was a miniseries to tell you why. But overall, it was her basically being on Coney Island, being like, hey, like, I'm trying to figure out who I am. I want to be a hero, but I'm still the villain in everybody's eyes. So I thought that was, I think Sam Humphries hit that right on the head, and there was no like reinvention of her throughout his series.
Very good. Yeah, true.
As for my artist, I have to go with Erica Henderson for the current run. I think that Harley looks phenomenal in the second half of her series. I was drawn off from the first half because it didn't really look like Harley. It was it looked lazy to me. And Erica Henderson coming on brought that rejuvenation back for the Harley Quinn that I wanted.
Okay, cool.
Nice. All right, Kevin, what you got for best author, artist and author?
I gotta go with my homie and yours there, Jimmy Palmiotti, as the author. He did some great work with Harley Quinn. Like, I think he pushed the envelope with her more than most, is what I would say. And the artist, I have to formally apologize for the pronunciation here, but Stepan Sejic, STJEPAN SEJIC. He was the one that did the work in. Yes, he did the one. He was the one that did the art on Harleen, and that was just such twisted. You could. There was just so much emotion and physical or facial features displayed in that. It was just, you knew exactly what they were thinking and what they were feeling without them having to say, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm out of my damn mind. It was just, the artwork on that was just phenomenal. Highly recommend checking out. Even if you aren't interested in the story, at least read Harleen for the artwork. It was beautiful.
He wrote it
Nice.
too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He wrote it as well as drew it. Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Dan? What you have?
For writer, I went with Paul Dini, the guy that created her and introduced her in the animated series, in the comic based on the animated series, in the comic that introduced her to DC. There's been a lot that's been done since then, but based on his initial idea of like she was just going to be this kind of throwaway character in an episode, to like building her into an actual real established character, I had to go with him. And for artists, I went with Frank Cho.
Okay.
Because covers than interior work for her, but it was really close between him and Amanda Conner because their styles are very similar. But I think when it comes down to it, I just prefer Cho's artwork, and I think he does some great work with her.
Perfect.
So what do you got, Sal? What do you have for that?
So I actually went with Amanda Conner for best writer. She did a lot of work on volumes 3 and volume 4. It just, I don't know, her work was good on that. I think it flowed very well with story wise. For artist, I went with Joseph Lisner.
Ooh.
And he also worked with Amanda Conner in volumes 3 and 4. And for me, she was never drawn out of proportion, if it makes sense to you.
Yes.
So I always felt like, it felt like a real person to me than a comic book character.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah. So that's who I have. All right,
That's
guys.
awesome.
I think this wraps up our episode then of Harley Quinn.
All right.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. You guys had great story. Oh, you got something? Shoot.
Almost. We have one last little feature at the end there, Sal.
No, we don't.
We don't do the trivia.
Not right now.
Right now.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
That's okay.
That's all right. You were out of the loop on that.
Yeah.
We do the trivia.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
We do it in a short so that we can show it to everybody.
I see. Okay.
So, and that's a future note for people. Stick around. Check out the trivia that's going to come out from this as well. So, all right. So this wraps it up. Thank you, guys. Once again, I am Sal the Slab Guy. You can find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Down below, we got Dan the Man Kelly. Where can they find you really quick?
Check me out on Instagram, Dan Kelly Art. Just search hashtag Dan Kelly Art and my stuff will come up. So go give me a follow and leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. And this cat right beside me
What's going on, my peeps out there? I created a group over on Facebook and Instagram called Comic Character of the Day. Thank you very much, Dan, where we post a different character and put in all sorts of goodies all about this comic book geekery that we all know and love. We'd love to have you come on over, join us, and become one of us.
One of us.
All
right.
And with that, Jamie, take us on home, my brother.
Yeah, guys, you guys know what I'm about to say. Go check out the codexstation.com. It's your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team, let us know what you like, don't like. And at the very, very bottom are these little tabs that you can click to find us on all of our socials. That way you can't miss any of the content that we're providing for you because we have something for everyone. When I say that, I mean it. Go check it out. Go like, share, comment, subscribe, and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're almost there, and it takes you to help, and we have a great community so far, so please join.
And if you act now, Jamie will throw in a signed bandana.
Yes.
And when we hit 1,000 followers, Kevin is going to be in a dunk tank.
There you go.
I'll do it, man. I got zero dignity, man. You name it, I will do it for those 1,000 followers. And not only that, I personally will tell you that once we get to 1,000 followers, because of Jamie's established look, he's going to change his name to Dan Bana.
Dan Bana.
No, it's Antonio Bandana.
Antonio Bandana. I like that.
Because my name's not Dan. That would work for Dan if you wear the bandana. But yeah, Antonio Bandana, I can dig that.
Antonio Bandana.
All right, that one works.
There's a future T-shirt for you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody watching this episode. I wish you guys have a 9-point day, and all you guys take care as well.
And we'll see you guys next one.
Much love.